Fulham are still interested in Manchester United ace Scott McTominay ahead of the January transfer window. According to Sky Sports, the Cottagers could make an approach for McTominay in the winter. The West Londoners almost signed the midfielder in the summer on deadline day when they almost lost João Palhinha to Bayern Munich. Fulham failed to sign the Scotland international and thus refused to let Palhinha go to Bayern because they didn't have a replacement. The German champions look set to come back for the Portugal international. But Marco Silva's side will now have a lot more time to land McTominay. On the other side, Manchester United star Marcus Rashford is confident he will have a bright partnership with Rasmus Højlund. He said that, "I am honestly super excited about it. At times last year, we were going on counterattacks, and we would just see shirts of other bodies, and usually, the cutback that was on was to Bruno Fernandes, who was arriving later. Whereas this year, you have to understand the dynamics have changed, so we have spoken to each other and done a little bit of work off the pitch, probably that the coaching staff don't even know, between just me and him." Again and again. Chris Sutton expects Manchester United to beat Crystal Palace in the Premier League for the second time after their Carabao Cup meeting. He said that Erik ten Hag could breathe a little bit easier after Manchester United's win over Burnley last weekend, which ended a run of 3 defeats, and it was important they backed it up midweek. United did that when they comfortably beat Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday, but the difference when they meet again this time is that both teams will field their strongest lineups. We know Palace will set up to be resilient and aim to hit United on the counterattack, and I am expecting this game to be a lot closer, but United should come out on top again on the other side. West Ham paid thousands of pounds for Jesse Lingard's unsuccessful trial. Lingard had been working out with the Hammers, but did not earn a deal before jetting to Saudi Arabia to join Steven Gerrard's Al Ettifaq. But the arrangement still hit the East Londoners in the pocket, with the club putting the former Manchester United star up in a hotel for 6 weeks as he trained with the first team. According to the Daily Mail, West Ham also arranged all of the versatile midfielder's transport due to his 6-month driving ban. Again and again. Manchester United handed takeover warning amid Liverpool FC decision. Manchester United's takeover remains in the balance, but FSG's decision on Merseyside could have a wide-ranging impact on the Glazers' sale. So, United's takeover process has been frustrating to say the least for supporters of the club. Since November, the Reds' fan base has been waiting for news on the Glazers' future at the club after they announced a strategic review into their ownership. Sadly, transparency in regards to any potential deal has not been forthcoming, and United continue to wait for updates on the process. At the time of their initial statement, the American family claimed all options remained on the table for the sale, including a complete takeover of the club. This declaration invited interest from Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Worryingly in the eyes of United fans, the same statement was made by arch-rivals Liverpool's FSG. As our sister title, the Liverpool Echo, reported in March of this year, the Merseyside club's owners were also on the lookout for a full sale if an offer above 4 billion was made, but they soon pivoted towards selling a minority stake in the Reds instead. On Thursday, FSG finally completed what they set out to do as they announced an agreement with Dynasty Equity had been reached to purchase a minority stake in the club for between 82 million and 164 million. Should this approach be mirrored by the Glazers at Old Trafford, dark clouds will continue to circle around United. Men's sport understands the current owners are thick-skinned and are more than aware of the backlash on the horizon should they decide not to fully sell up. What has also been made clear is the Glazers are unfazed by this prospect. It will come as no surprise to any United fan that the Glazers are happy to take any decision which benefits them the most financially, whether this means remaining at the club in some capacity or not. Undoubtedly, the ownership will be keeping a close eye on Liverpool's financial performance after this development, and this could sway exactly the path they take moving forwards. For supporters, the message is clear. You may need to brace yourself for the Glazers choosing the unthinkable option. again and again. Manchester United legend Gary Neville believes his former club would be under greater scrutiny than Manchester City or Newcastle if Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani took over. He said that, "I am not opposed to state clubs. I have not opposed Newcastle or Manchester City. I think United will be under greater scrutiny because the size of the club is enormous. The reality is that Abu Dhabi has owned Manchester City for 15 years, so I think the important thing in English football is that the control of the owners, not only of the state clubs, but also of the venture capital funds that are entering the Premier League to exploit English football. The Premier League is an incredible product. It's loved around the world, it's brilliant to watch, the stadiums are high quality, it's miles ahead of the other leagues in terms of revenue. Elsewhere, Manchester United star Marcus Rashford has been pictured being driven out of training after his horror car crash. Rashford crashed his $700,000 Rolls-Royce after last weekend's win over Burnley. The forward had just left the club's training ground at Carrington when he smashed his vehicle. The England international was left shaken up by the incident, but had no serious injuries, a source told The Sun. Following the latest training session, the 25-year-old was seen being driven out of the training ground as he sat in the passenger seat of a 50,000 Audi RS3 while leaving the club's complex. Elsewhere, Daily Blind has given an insight into the ruthless management style of Erik ten Hag. The former Manchester United defender played under Ten Hag at Ajax and has warned United's players to toe the line. "We became like a machine, better and better," he told The Athletic. In time, he can do that for United. He's a great manager, great personality. He's direct, honest, and tells you what he sees. He's not afraid to make big decisions. If you don't like it, you can go another way because his train goes on. On the other side, some 19 years ago today, Wayne Rooney made a huge impact on his long-awaited Manchester United debut. The England star signed for United off the back of his Euro 2004 exploits, but an injury sustained at the tournament meant he had to wait until a September Champions League meeting with Fenerbahce to make his bow. Rooney needed less than 20 minutes to open his account and less than an hour to complete a debut hat trick in a 6-2 win for Sir Alex Ferguson's side. Again and again, Marcus Rashford is yet to rediscover his form from last season. But the attacker remains United's most dangerous player and will have a big say if he's in the mood. As for Palace, they will look to Ebereki Eze for inspiration on Saturday. The playmaker is high in confidence after his England call-up and will look to pull the strings as a number 10.